Okay. I mentioned that there are three major research designs: the quantitative research design, the qualitative research design, and then the mixed research design, the quanti and the quali at the same time, or maybe quantitative first, then followed by the qualitative design, or maybe the qualitative design, then followed by the quantitative design. Or maybe at the same time, you do quanti at the same time quali design. Looking into the correlational research design. So one of the methods in a quantitative research design is the correlational research design. And a correlational research design is a design where you are going to look into the relationship of two variables. So, the relationship of two variables in a simple correlational research design, where the two variables are quantitative in nature, or there might be some cases that there are other classifications of the variables if you look at into the correlation of the two variables. So we look at into a statement in the problem. Is there a significant relationship between variable A and variable B? Or is there a relationship between variable A and variable B? So if you look at that one, is there a significant relationship between variable A and variable B? The second statement, is there a relationship between variable A and variable B? All of the two are talking about a relationship. And if that is one of the foci of your statement of the problem, then that calls for a correlational research design. Why correlational research design? Because you have a problem indicating about the relationship between two variables. So, but first, let me consider about the relationship that we are going to consider. The relationship is either they have a positive relationship or they have a negative relationship. They have a positive relationship or they have a negative relationship. In some cases, we look at into correlation either positive or negative, or it might be in a direct relationship or indirect relationship. Some books would say indirect relationship. Some books would say direct relationship. So how do we look at into a positive relationship? So we have their variable A and variable B. If they have positive relationship, then we look at the values in variable A as high values. Variable B, the values are also high. So high values in variable A and high values in variable B. So we look at that one as having a positive correlation. Still looking into variable A and variable B, if we look up into low values of variable A and low values of variable B, then we consider that one still as positive correlation. Low values in one variable, low values in the other variable. So still positive correlation. So in general, we look at into a perspective that when we say positive relationship or positive correlation, the values are having the same trend. That high on one variable, high also on the other variable, low in one variable, low also in the other variable. And we call that one as a negative correlation. A positive correlation. Now, looking into a negative correlation or inverse correlation, looking at variable A and variable B, there are high values in variable A that would correspond to low values in variable B. Or it might be low values in variable A, but they tend to correspond high values in variable B. then that is an example of a negative correlation or the so-called indirect correlation. And there are many things that we see in the real world that are having positive correlation or negative correlation. Common example about that one is about math abilities and the English language abilities. Math abilities and the English language abilities. You can find that those who are not good in math are not good in the English language. And those who are good in the English language are not good in math abilities. And we call that one as a negative correlation. That is a known fact. But you can come across also with people who are good in math and good also in English language. And that is a positive correlation or a direct correlation. But you can find also someone not good in math and not good in English language. And that is still a positive correlation. All those things could be classified as part of correlational research design. You look at into the relationship of the variables. Dapat you have two variables and you look at the relationship of the two variables. The first is a quantitative variable. The second is also a quantitative variable. And you correlate the two, you relate the two. But of course, when you look at into possible relationship or possible correlation, see to it that there is a logical claim that you are correlating the two variables. So, if for example, you are going to look at the length of your feet, no, the length of your feet or the size of your feet, sorry, the size of your feet and your IQ. So IQ is a variable. The size of your feet is also a variable. And if you are going to correlate the two, then ask first, is there a logical basis of correlating the size of your feet and the size, your IQ? So is it logical? So earlier, I said that you must have a logical sense of pairing the two variables and ask, is it logical to claim a correlation between variable A and variable B? And the example, is it logical to correlate the size of your feet and your IQ? And not only according to your own perspective, according to your own idea, but you must be backed up with literature. Try to review literature if there is a study, a similar study about that. If you are going to look at into the size of your forehead and your IQ, of course, size of your forehead is a variable. There are many sizes of the forehead, and the IQ is also a variable. And you can ask, am I logical to claim that the size of my forehead and my IQ have correlation or not logical at all? So things like those. So I'm going to ask you, is it logical to pair the size of your forehead and your IQ? And the previous one, is it logical to correlate the size of your feet and your IQ? Sige, any volunteer? You can react any of the two, the first pair or the second. Hello? Therese Alvoro, what's your idea?
Come again, sir.
The one that I mentioned a while ago.
I'm sorry, sir. I wasn't able to really focus because I'm having my eye check up today. Sorry, sir.
Stella Abancio. Ma'am Stella Abancio.
Yes, sir.
Could you give me an answer of the question that I posted?
For me, sir, it is not logical that you are going to compare about your teeth and about the size of your head. It is because it is different parts of our body. It is not the same variable. That's all, sir.
Mine, Alberto. Mine, Alberto. Mine.
For me, sir, it's not logical to compare the two, sir, because obviously, there will be no significant, there will be no, the teeth and the feet doesn't really affect each other depending on its growth, sizes, because we have studied biology, and in biology, there is no effect, or there's no significance, not significance, there's no relationship between the growth of the teeth, the size of the, and the size of the teeth.
Okay, Judy Calpis. Judy Calpis.
Yes, Doc, it's not logical, Doc, because the head and the foot is not connected to each other.
Jean Anna Rose Kuldura.
Yes, Doc. For me, I think it's not logical, Doc, because if we're going to, differentiate the size of your forehead and your feet, I mean, what's the point? What's the connection of the two? So for me, Doc, it's not. Okay, Doc.
Jury. Jury.
Yes, Doc. The same with their answer. It's non-logical, Doc.
Okay. Rodaline Dingal. Rodaline Dingal. Rodaline Dingal. Allen Empinado. Allen.
Yes, Doc. Same with the past answers, Doc. I think the measuring the forehead and the your feet is not logical. It's not relevant.
Francis Cadalio.
What, Doc? Not logical, Doc.
Not logical. Majesty Ferrer. Majesty. Sir Nicanor Perolino.
Yes, Doc. The same with my conduct with my classmates answer, Doc. I think there's no logic reason. It's not logical to compare the two, Doc. Thank you, Doc.
Jenry Blase.
I think, Doc, it's not logical. It's because the two has no relation or something. They are not connected to each other, Doc.
Okay. Did I miss someone? I think. Therese Alvaro. Therese.
Sir,
Yes.
yes, sir. Not logical, or there is no significant relationship of measuring the size of your feet and one's IQ, because first and foremost, they do not have the same measurement as to the feet. It's on inches or centimeters, but on the IQ, you have to undergo an IQ test for that, sir.
Okay, sige. So that's an on-the-spot question. But as a researcher, you're going to ask yourself, I have to find first literature that would back up that claim. Because what you did, you only answer me based on your own stock knowledge and based on your own analysis and based on your own judgment. Right? Why are we going to do research? Because there is a question and that we could not actually answer that question based on the stock knowledge that we have, and all that we have could not answer the question. That is why you are going to undergo research. So if you're going to, yeah, I respect all of your claims, no? Blah, 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 and all the blah, blah, blah. But are you back up with literature? So that's it, no? Are you back up with literature? When you say it's illogical to have a claim that there is a relationship between the size of the forehead and the IQ, or the size of the face and the IQ, because yeah, I understand all of your reasons. But if I'm going to ask you, have you found a literature that that one is illogical? Have you reviewed the literature about that claim? So that is actually
No, sir.
a quick exercise on whether you can apply what we discussed in research about review of related literature. Why we do research? Because there is a question posted, there is a problem that arises, but we could not answer that one according to the best of our abilities, our stock knowledge. All that we have in our mind could not answer that question. So what we are going to do is to undergo research. But the first thing to do is review first the related literature. So why are you going to do that? Because you want to establish first on whether that is logical, and what is actually being told by the literature. So if no one would actually saying that's logical and this one is not logical also, and then you have reviewed many articles, then you are going to say, I'm going to try because that is the gap. No, that is the gap. That no one in my search na nag-claim na there is a logical pairing of the size of the feet and the IQ, or the size of the forehead and the IQ. And if you're able to establish that one, and once you're able to establish that one in a quantitative perspective, si size of the feet and the IQ have a positive correlation. If the feet are big, the IQ is also high. If the feet are small, the IQ is low, and you are able to establish that one quantitatively, then do not stop there. Kaya it might be in a quantitative perspective. So you go into the qualitative perspective. And then you check. Try to check what you have established. Look around and then try to identify people. There, you've got a big size of your feet, and look at the IQ. There is. You have found a person. And then you go somewhere, you have found a person. The feet are big, and then the IQ is high. And then you're able to come up with that. Okay, so I have the theory that the size of the feet and the IQ have relationship. And you are going to consider that one as a theory, not a law. a theory, because a theory can be true or false. And that's a very good what kind of theory being generated out of your research. Forehead and then IQ. There are literature out there that are claiming that the size of the forehead and the IQ are correlated. Some positive ang correlation, some are negative. That if the size of your forehead is big, the IQ is high. And we have found that one. No? And I validated that theory. Nga dakog agtang bright. Gamay agtang bright pod siya. But mostly pag dakog agtang bright. Gamay agtang bulok-bulok Dawin Negros Oriental or bulok-bulok Sibulan Negros Oriental.
Dili lagi ko bright, Doc.
Huh? So you are part of the negative correlation. If you are going to claim na you got a big size of your forehead and your IQ is not that high, then look at correlation. Di ba si correlation is positive or negative? So you've got that a big size in terms of your forehead, but your IQ is not that high. So you are an example of a negative correlation. Okay, so that's it. That's how research process would interplay. Did you get me?
Yes, Doc.
Doc.
Clarification, Doc.
I understand your feelings. No, you reacted. No, what's the relationship between the size of your feet and your IQ? And I think biology teacher si ma'am, you studied blah blah blah, and there's no relationship between the two. But unless none of the literature is claiming that one is logical, that would be the time nga you're going to say that's not logical. But as a researcher, if you are curious enough, I'm going to try. Not logical. There's no such literature that tells nga this one is actually being studied. I'm going to study about this and I'm going to find out if there is a sense for this. Remember that you will become famous if you are going to do what is something considered not good or not true at the very beginning, and at the end, you're able to make it, you're able to prove that is true. Look at do you know, can you remember or have you read the development of bottled water? Have you heard of that story about the development of bottled water? Hello?
Nando.
Odo.
Think na ni Unto na siguro ni sa kay maragwa na gyud mo tubag. Hello. Bidaw ko na ka. Right, I'm going to check daw ko na be. Can you hit the raise hand button para I can say nga you are still there, no? Okay, sige. That's it. Oh, si Francis nag-open yung camera to prove nga he is still there. Be, atong tanaw ng mga camera to prove nga you are still there. The jury. Who else? O si Ma'am. Si Jean. Who else? O si Jenry. Who else? Nakalimutan, klaro lang yung naniod to sa Allen. Si Sir Nicanor, no? Okay. Okay, thank you. You can close na your camera. Okay, so that's it. So you are going to verify first, no? Verify all the time. And then for the bottled water, no? At first, when the first person to develop bottled water, to produce bottled water, I can't remember the exact name. And then when he attempted to sell the produced bottled water, and then many people laughed. And the people around him, ha, 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 why are you producing bottled water? Water is free. No, water is free. You can just go around, dig, and you can actually get water. But the intention, the projection, the claim of that developer, that producer, that he thought one day water is not safe anymore. Yeah, water is free. It's all around. But one day, water is not safe to be drunk. So what happens now? Water is free, but can you just drink water around without checking on whether that is actually fitted for drinking? And what is happening now? Bottled water is what? A necessity for those who have the budget, right? Why is it that there are many producers of bottled water? Because at the very start, that person has a good vision that in the future, water is no longer safe. And that is actually one of the skills of being an entrepreneur. Okay, so take note about that one. Okay, so looking at the size of the forehead and the IQ. So you can find that one all the time, no? Can you justify persons with big forehead are intelligent, but you can find also persons with big size forehead, the IQ is not high. You can find a person, the size of the forehead is small, but the IQ is actually very high. I had a friend, I met that friend in Manila, and then the forehead is actually very what small, but the IQ is actually very high. And when I look at the background, elementary valedictorian, secondary valedictorian, college summa cum laude, then Bachelor of Arts major in political science summa cum laude. Then when that person finished law, still summa cum laude and top 2 in the bar exam. So, okay. But the forehead is that big. So we look at into a negative correlation. Follow? What else can you give? Can you give an example of two variables na positively correlated or negatively correlated? So, this is my last graded recitation example. So let me start from Therese Alboro. Can you think of variables na which you believe positively correlated or directly correlated or negatively correlated?
Wait, sir, ha? Nagkanauna
Okay,
pa
I'll
ko,
get back
sir.
to you, no? Sir Nicanor Perolino, can you think of
Yes,
the variables now which you believe positively correlated or negatively correlated?
I think, Doc, good-looking individual, Doc, in joining a contest have a high percentage of winning, even though ang competition is, say, for example, it is a singing contest. I think, sir, Doc, based on sa mga kwan sa TV, murag good-looking people normally, mo yung mga mostly nga winnable pair. May ako nakita, Doc. I think or the other way, Doc, good-looking people, mga laki nga mga gwapo kay Doc, daghang chicks.
So hindi ba yan obvious? Siyempre naman, pag beauty contest, the good-looking would have a high probability of winning. Kay many would actually give you a bang if, for example, the not good-looking would win the beauty contest or that pageant. Well, you can have a positive correlation. Yeah, positive correlation. That can be. Yeah, you can consider that one. Sige. Francis. Francis. Ready na. Okay, Ma'am Ding, I'll go ahead.
Tracer, the relation between the height and the waiter. Usually, sir, ano sila nga, taller people tend to be heavier, sir, compare sa mga mga gagawin.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Francis. Majesty.
Kuan daw ng the correlation of ning ng white white colored skin and dark colored skin in kuan ng winning Miss Universe.
So are you talking about the race and the chance of winning in a pageant, in a beauty pageant?
Oo. Yes, Doc.
Why do you say so?
Kay kuan man ng Muslim good rare man tong mga dark color skin mo daog. So positively correlated siya kung other way around.
Okay. If that is your claim. Allen Empinado.
Kuan sir, based sa study na mo sa undergrad sir is the weight and the length of the fish is closely related. Then based ani nga ano sir, as a height and the weight is ma-determine pud ang age sa organism. That would be all sir.
Okay. Jury, dahonan. Jury.
Kanang sa kuan po Doc, the correlation between kanang electric bill and using of kanang sitaw kana LPG. If ever you are using the quad, it's not actually correlated. If you are using the LPG in cooking, so it does not affect with your electric bill. That's it, Doc.
Okay. Jean?
Yes, Doc. What about this one, Doc? Kanang students who are active in academics and students who are active in extracurricular activities. So which among the two has the advantage more on becoming an honor student? Kasi amo nga time do kay ang academics o extracurricular kay kailangan man sila kung taas ka extracurricular mas madala ka sa imong pagka-honor. Murag mainat imong academics and because of the extracurricular mas nagdili kayo taas sa academics ngayon ana.
Okay. Yeah, Therese Salvoro. Therese?
Sir, the chances of female teachers getting hired in kindergarten than male teachers.
Okay. Yeah. And that's the reason why if you're going to look at the perspective of Singaporean education, they are not hiring male kindergarten teachers, but they prefer females. Okay, that makes sense. Genre. Genre.
Ay, kaya wala ko nauna-unahan, Dok. Pero kanang kuan, Dok, kanang between sa skin color. Between
What
sa skin
variables?
color, Dok.
You're at foundation, so what variables can you think about? No?
Between sa skin color, Doc, if you have this tan skin color, then kanang makauban mo nga mga puti, Doc. Kay murag na something, Doc, nga maka-feel ka, Doc, og something.
What, discrimination?
Oh, murag ingon ana, Doc. So, murag maka-affect siya sa personal and something confidence, Doc.
You look at a common example is on why are you going to take review classes before taking the board exam? That many parents are sending their children to review centers before taking the board exam because there is a very high correlation between those who have undergone review classes and the passing of the actual board exam. So that is actually an example why we have so many review centers because there's actually a correlation between having a review and then taking the actual board exam. And there is actually a very high correlation if you have taken the review and the actual passing of the board exam. But it's not a perfect correlation. There might be some cases na someone took the review classes but still failed in the board exam. So it would be on a case-to-case basis, but still that is correlation. So if that would be the focus of your research, that you look into variables and then you look into the relationship of those variables, then we consider correlational research design. Now going back to the first problem, is there a significant difference between variable A and variable B? The second statement, is there a relationship between variable A and variable B? I'd like to check, not significant difference. Is there a significant relationship between variable A and variable B? Second, is there a relationship between variable A and variable B? So I repeat, no? First statement, is there a significant relationship between variable A and variable B? Number two, is there a relationship between variable A and variable B? So what's the difference between the two? If you look at the first statement, there is a word significant. Did you hear that? Nga there is a significant word. In the second, there is no significant word. It goes directly as, is there a relationship between variable A and variable B? In the first, is there a significant relationship between variable A and variable B? And the question is, when to use that word significant relationship and when to use the relationship directly? This is with reference to sample and population data. If you collect the data from the sample and you want to generalize that one into the entire population, then you are going to say, is there a significant relationship between variable A and variable B? Why you are going to place significant, the word significant before relationship? Because you are going to undergo hypothesis testing. But once you see, is there a relationship between variable A and variable B? That is a condition na you are not going to use the word significant before the relationship if you are doing a census or you collect the data from the entire population and you don't need to apply hypothesis testing. So you just ask directly, is there a relationship between variable A and variable B? But if you use a survey, you are going to use sample data, then you are going to say, is there a significant relationship between variable A and variable B? So is that clear to everyone? Hello?
Yes, Doc.
Yes,
Everyone? Okay. So thank you so much. And then after this, we have a 7-minute period left. So I want you to write your reflection. I'll be posting a classwork about reflection and then answer that one. Just a short reflection on our class today. So bye-bye everyone. Then see you virtually again on Saturday. Bye-bye everyone.
Bye, Doc.
Bye, Doc.
Bye, Doc. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye, Doc. Thank you, Doc.
Wala papita, murag naniud to na good na. Sige, bye-bye.
Gutom na, Doc.
Don't forget the reflection, ha?